So listen, there are two guys that nobody is talking about that the Las Vegas Raiders just signed to the team on the quiet, and I'm going to get into both of these guys today because not only do they have a chance at making the 53-man roster, but they also have a chance of actually making an impact on this defense. I'm going to get into each one of these guys and why I think that picking them up was an absolute genius move by John Spytek, because these dudes are gems that really were overlooked by the entire NFL, and it's part and parcel due to the way that the NFL runs the Senior Bowl and the other major bowls that they go to evaluate these talents, and the way that they're doing the combine, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into these guys, and we're going to check it all out. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Raider D podcast. I am Mike Dean, the host, aka Big Raider D. So listen up, guys. I want to talk about a couple of dudes here. A couple of dudes that the Raiders picked up that everybody was overlooking and nobody is talking about. And so we're going to start out with the linebacker position in Jaylen Walker. No, we're not talking about Jaylen Walker out of Alabama. We are talking about Jaylen Walker out of Indiana. The quietest kept safety turned linebacker. This dude is absolutely a gem, and he is a diamond in the rough. He is a very fast, very twitchy linebacker. And of course he should be, because he is a safety converted to linebacker. Now we know that that doesn't always translate well at the next level. Just look at Divine Diablo and how that was an absolute disaster. In coverage, he was pretty good. But when it came to tackling people, he was pretty bad, especially when it came to running backs. And this is a problem that Divine Diablo had, because he would often put himself out of position, or he was just a poor tackler. So what makes Jaylen Walker different, and why I think he could be more successful in that transition from safety over to the linebacker position? Well, a couple of key aspects. But before we get into that, I do just want to say thank you to today's sponsor of the video, and that is Box House. My guy over there at Box House, Kevin, he is going to take really good care of you. Listen, if you're looking for an ADU, if you are looking for a tiny home, you can't afford a 3,000 square foot house anymore, you got a little piece of property or a backyard that you want to plop this down into, hey, if you need a mother-in-law suite, but you don't want her living in your house, you want to have her own privacy and her own quarters and everything, this is absolutely perfect for you. They can deliver pretty much anywhere in the country, and they are a high quality, great priced option to just basically have it come, set down, and set up in like less than a day. Go and check them out. Box House right now. Link is down in the description. Also, Kevin's phone number's there. Give him a ring, get some price quotes, get some more information. He'll absolutely take good care of you. Also want to say thank you to Hour.com. Keep your privacy secured from the dark web. They got your back with $1 million guarantee if your information is stolen. They'll do dark web searches. They'll do request removals from all the data brokers out there selling your information without your knowledge. They'll give you all kinds of different tools to help protect you and your family, like internet monitoring for your kid, call screening to make sure you're not getting any of those spam calls. I know I get like 10 a day. Check them out. Link is down in the description. It's going to give you a 14-day free trial, which is long enough to get your dark web report back, as well as get a bunch of removal requests to all of these data brokers. So thank you to Hour.com for being a sponsor of the show. Now listen, Jaylen Walker, what makes him different from Divine Diablo in being that he was a safety converted linebacker? Well, number one is that even though he is a bit undersized at only 6 foot tall, 219 pounds, Jaylen Walker has athleticism and speed in abundance. Walker is described as explosive, fast, quick, with a high motor, very important for the Raiders, and the ability to get after the ball. His background as a safety gives him superior range and coverage ability compared to many traditional linebackers. Now, his coverage ability is exceptional. His experience in the secondary allows him to excel in zone coverage schemes, especially those that require linebackers to run with receivers on deep crossing routes. This fits well with the Raiders' anticipated shift towards a more zone-heavy defensive looks. Instincts and versatility, he has that in abundance. Walker shows good instincts and is capable of reading plays quickly. His versatility allows him to, contribute both in coverage and in the run and chase linebacker type of a situation. Special teams potential. This dude could be a gunner all day long, just running down there wreaking havoc. So I think first and foremost, that's where his fit's going to be with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's probably going to make that 53-man roster, and he's probably going to be a special teamer to begin with, and then he'll be a depth piece at that linebacker position, kind of like we seen with Amari Gaynor and Amari Burney last year. Expect those guys to get some more playing time this year. Now, some of his weaknesses, obviously, is his size. Is a little bit undersized when it comes to being a linebacker in the NFL. At only 219 pounds, he's going to be going up against linebackers who are basically the same weight as him, and they're going to be more adept at running him over and trucking him. So tackling running backs in college versus in the NFL, it's going to be a big step up. Let's see if he can do it. Now, here's the one thing that separates him from Divine Diablo, and that is this. Divine Diablo would often put himself out of position to miss the tackle, where this guy never puts himself out of position. He has very, very good positional awareness and getting after that run game. The problem is his size. Can he hold on to the running back? Well, if he can bulk up a little bit, maybe, put on another 5 pounds of muscle, I think he'll be just fine in that regard, simply because he is really good at putting himself in the position to make the tackle. He's also really good at blitz packages and getting after the quarterbacks. That's another plus for him. But again, at the run defense, in the NFL, he's going to have to get stronger, and that's a weakness for him. But that's pretty much it. On every single level, he should be better than Divine Diablo in the run defense, and that's why I think he's an absolute steal as an undrafted free agent, and I think that at the very least, he makes the practice squad, but I do believe that he will make the 53-man roster because we do need linebacker help, and he's definitely going to fit the bill for that. Now, let's talk about my second guy that I wanted to talk about here. And that is a guy who has a name I absolutely love. His name is Greedy Vance, a cornerback, particularly a nickelback out of USC. Now, this guy went completely undrafted, unlooked at, just ignored by the NFL. And again, this is a symptomatic problem with how the NFL does all of the scouting combine, the Senior Bowl, and the other type of things that they do, because they often invite the stars, the guys who are, they're going in the first round. They show up to the combine, they ain't working out, they're not throwing the ball, they're not running routes, they're not doing coverage schemes, they're not running 40 times. And you're wasting these slots because they only invite so many people. So I think that the NFL, and drop a comment down below if you agree or disagree and tell me why, but I think the NFL should make it a requirement. If you get invited to the NFL Combine and you do not work out, you're gone. You're gone. You're gone. In fact, I think that if you get invited to the NFL Combine and you don't work out, I think you should forfeit being drafted in the first round. Simple, point blank. Now, your option is you don't have to work out. You don't have to show up. You don't have to take the invite. You don't have to accept it. You can decline the RSVP and say, I'm not showing up to the combine because I'm not going to work out and I'm too prissy. I'm too good for myself. So I'm just going to sit over here because I know I'm a first round draft pick. Cool, fine, don't show up. Give chances to guys like Greedy Vance to be able to have a slot and come and show his thing. Because one thing we know about Greedy Vance is that he is very fast, very quick, very twitchy type of a cornerback. But we don't know his official 40 time because he wasn't invited to any of these NFL Combine type of situations. And I think it's an absolute tragedy. And that is why this kid went undrafted and the Raiders picked him up as an undrafted free agent. I think, looking at him, he's probably somewhere in the 4.3 range. He is just that quick and that twitchy. Now, negative to him. This kid is only 5'11" and he's only 170 pounds. Very undersized for an NFL corner, particularly at the nickel back. I think he needs to put on at least another 15 to 20 pounds. You can't make him taller, but that's fine. Where he really excelled, and he's bounced around over a 5-year career in college. He's bounced around from Louisville to Florida State and, to USC. USC, he finally really got his opportunity to showcase what he can do, and that opportunity particularly was where he was lined up as the nickel cornerback. Now, we know that the Las Vegas Raiders let Nate Hobbs go, one of the top 10 nickel cornerbacks in the NFL, because he was simply going to cost too much money and he was injury prone. So this guy, Greedy Vance, could absolutely be a replacement for him. And I love his name, Greedy, because he's very greedy out there on the field, just taking away the football. He has 5 interceptions in his career, including a game saver against Nebraska, USC against Nebraska, to close out that game with a big time pick. So he's got great hands, great instinct, great football IQ. And let's take a look at some of his scouting report. Now, at 5'11", 170 pounds, like I said, he's undersized, but he can make that up, put on a little bit of bulk in order to help in the run game, because he's going to need that to bring down NFL running backs. Now, across his 5-year college career, Vance appeared in 38 games, 11 with starts, tallying 100 tackles, 2 for loss, 5 interceptions, 14 pass breakups, and 1 fumble recovery. His experience spans 3 major programs, giving him exposure to various defensive schemes and high-level competition. So he has a very good football IQ because he's been in multiple different programs, and what coaches have said about him is he's been able to pick up those defensive schemes very quickly, and that's something that you want in a guy. High football IQ. But that's not the only thing about Greedy Vance. He is also described by his coaches as being a high character guy, doesn't get into trouble, and he's a leader in the locker room, even though he wasn't a full-time starter pretty much until he got to USC. So again, here goes Coach Pete Carroll, the team builder, grabbing high character guys with John Spytek, who is also known for grabbing high character guys who have drive, guys who aren't going to get in trouble, guys who love football. Well, Greedy Vance is a perfect picture of the player that these two want to build this team around, and I am super excited about it because we have a glaring need at the nickel position. Now, Greedy Vance has played both outside and inside, and he excelled on the inside. He's okay on the outside, but his size is a hindrance. His speed is not, his coverage is not, but his size is. However, at the nickel, he's often going to be going against slot receivers who are not too much taller than him and don't weigh too much more than him. And therefore, he can really excel at that because he's super fast, super twitchy, and his coverage skills are super greedy. And anytime you get a guy with a super awesome name, with speed and ability with the Las Vegas Raiders, it is a recipe for success. I would love to see this kid get a chance out there, and he's going to get it in the preseason. He's also going to get it out there on the special teams because, again, with his size and his abilities, he should at least make the special teams and be a depth piece at the nickel cornerback for his rookie season. Guys, if you love content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I am Mike Dean, host of the Raider D podcast. Salute Raiders!